We're live. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Soul Fam. Good afternoon and good evening if you are in Europe or United Kingdom. So welcome once again to my weekly live forecast with all the astrological energies that you need to know to understand how to navigate the twists and turns and ups and downs of life. Because life can be difficult. This is a great truth. How has your week been? Has it been good? How is this week going to be? I'm already, I'm just looking at I've been trying to keep up with the live chat already, and there's loads of you here already. Welcome, everybody. This week has been fast. Okay. And hello. Yes, hello. Please give us some good news. I'll try. What I did first, actually, is get up the chart for today, because I recorded next Sunday's full moon in Gemini today. And again, I got a bit discombobulated, but it's a pretty good video, I think. That'll be up in the next 2 or 3 days. I've sent it off to Jerry, so he'll do the twiddly bits that he has to do with it. You, Poonam, you've had a week which has been a roller coaster with good results. Hi, Joanna. How lovely to see you. I really hope you're doing well, Joanna, and recovering and continuing to heal and all of that. Hi, Janice, you're here as well. And we are growing in our numbers. We've got Steve, we've got Katie, Andy, of course. Andy, you know, you've got to dive off at 9:30, have you? So we'll try and get a lot of Annabelle Sapphire. Did you request a tarot tonight? Because I've got them ready. If you want a tarot, I'm going to give you a tarot. And you're in very windy London. Well, my friend, I have a gentleman friend, and he arrived from England this afternoon, and he's staying for a week, and it's really nice to see him because I haven't seen him for ages. And yes, I will do a tarot, Annabelle, for sure. And so he's promised he won't jump up and down in front of me and try and make me corpse whilst I do this live. But he is sitting over there somewhere, keeping an eye on me. So, and we, hang on a minute. No, he's, I wish I could show you. He's just done that. You know, the Egyptian thing where they go across the room doing this? Well, he's just done that and he's disappeared into the kitchen. But we have had a few glasses of champagne just to celebrate. He's coming back again doing it now. Oh, God. This is good. Oh, thank you. You like my lavender. It's not bad, is it? But oh, he's going to crash around. We've already had the fireworks going off because, of course, today is the 8th of December, and it is the feast of the Immaculate Conception. And I've always thought it's quite a miracle because it has to be the shortest pregnancy in history. But I'll just leave that for you to ponder upon and think about. Yes, Annabelle, he's keeping an eye on me and my little George, my lovely George, my lovely boy. I don't think George is going to be very happy about this because he's very possessive with me. So if there is someone else here kind of requiring my attention, he's disappearing off now. Not George, but my friend. He's just disappeared. He's gone. So it's probably what I'm talking about. But you know, the energy today is really rather interesting because Jupiter retrograde. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Retrograde. That was a good start. Retrograde in Gemini. Now, remember, Jupiter is all about expansion, growth. It can be fortune, good luck, opportunity. It's in Gemini, which is about thinking, ideas, anything like that. I'm quite blurry on the image. You haven't had champagne, sadly. I'm not blurry at all. I can't speak for the picture. I cannot speak for the Wi-Fi, but I've tried to do my best to make sure the Wi-Fi works. I think the most important thing is the sound. If the sound is doing okay, we should be okay. But Jupiter today is opposite the Sun in Sagittarius, which is quite interesting because, of course, remember, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And The sun is like our heart, our soul, the beating heart of our solar system. The image is pixelating. Oh no, this is terrible. I don't know how to stop it because it's not my end. So I'm sure when you watch it on playback, it'll be okay. But it's probably the bad weather, everything. Yes, the church calendar fits all of Jesus's life into 1 year. Well, I suppose it's poetic license, isn't it? Image is bad, but sound is great. As long as the sound is great, you can go back and watch it on catch up, and you'll see me in my very pretty lavender coat. Anyway, this energy of Jupiter opposite the sun. Remember, an opposition is tension. It pulls. Audio is good, great, as long as you hear me. You can always go about your day while you listen to me. So the audio is good. And Jupiter opposite the sun, and Mercury, of course, is retrograde still till next Sunday. So it's starting to slow down before it goes stationary direct. So we've got this energy, interestingly, between the first and the seventh house, which is almost like today is a good day to have those challenging discussions with significant others in your life, like a partner, a business partner, an important friend, to kind of chew the cud a bit, to look at what might be going on between you and the other. And with Mercury there retrograde, it's like one is going over old ground, which is quite interesting. It is for me because I've got a friend here and we're talking about the past, and, which is just interesting stuff. And the other thing today is the moon, of course, is in Pisces, and it has just been conjunct Saturn, which makes us a little bit no one's a fan of these retrogrades, but they do give us opportunities to go back, relook at, redress, review, have a bit of a slowdown, a little bit of a relaxation time, a relaxing time to really think about how we progress forward. It gives us time. It means that the fast pace of life, we can actually have time out and slow down a bit. You're thinking, Annabelle, that it's a bit like Groundhog Day. So much unresolved stuff coming up. Now that's interesting. Well, let's see how today unfolds or has unfolded for you in London, because the moon is actually squaring the sun exactly as we speak. And so is Saturn. So there's for the few hours, like early evening, or for you guys over in Canada and the States, morning and lunchtime, then there could be a little bit of emotional tension with whatever you want to talk about, especially if it's around career prospects, business, anything to do with that is kind of highlighted by this energy. So that is the most significant kind of energy that is around today. But it is quite powerful. Also, what's interesting is Uranus, of course, our planet of the unexpected, of shocks, of earthquakes, of volcanic eruptions, and all sorts of things like that. In Taurus, which of course is fixed, and the Earth is actually conjunct the ascendant. So this emphasizes today the fact that there could be some groundbreaking, earth-shaking revelations that come to light. Now, that might be something on the world stage. This might be something continuing on, for instance, from what has been going on in Syria overnight, where President Assad has now apparently fled on a plane somewhere. And, there's a lot of speculation on the news about that. See me, you're asking, what happened in Syria? Well, the rebels basically got their act together and they have overthrown President Assad, and he's gone. They've ransacked his palace. The prime minister has been escorted to a 5-star hotel, but he has said there will be a peaceful transition of power. Whether that is possible in this kind of region, who knows? But of course, it could cause imbalance in that whole Middle East area, which is not what we want. So we need to look at what is happening today. Today is actually, I think, astrologically a very powerful trigger point day, especially because of that retrograde Uranus on the ascendant. This is what is being put out there. Now, the midheaven, which is what we get in the public domain, is Aquarius. And it's kind of, it's a bit like saying the community, the larger community, need to actually take action and think outside the box and look for new and more innovative, inventive ways to progress forward with whichever or whatever things they need to do. What's that, Andy? You had a dream last night where your son was asking what the meaning of the word rebel is. How interesting. What did you tell him in the dream, or didn't you? And have you had the conversation with your son? That is very interesting. Jam, you're talking about NATO. Do you mean NATO? Because I think, yes, prayers and thoughts to those in Syria. But, for a lot of Syrians who had to leave and flee the country, they may be celebrating today because maybe it means they can go back to what's left of their homes, if there is anything left of their homes. I mean, the whole area is a tinderbox. And I just think the astrology of the moment is significantly interesting. And I wonder, after I finish this live, I think I'll have a look at the news headlines and see perhaps if anything has unfolded in the last few hours. Because as I say, I've been sitting here, as you do on a Sunday afternoon, sipping champagne with a very good friend. And it's been most entertaining. And anyway, I'm going to move on. You told him it was someone who was a badass. I love that. Am I allowed to say badass on YouTube? I don't know, because they're so funny about all these, naughty words. I'm not allowed to say lots of things. Lol from See Me. So I'm going to move on to Monday, because this week the energy is not too bad, because what we've got to remember is we are waxing towards the full moon in Gemini on Sunday. And that's going to be, I think, another pivotal point on the world stage, and could see significant events happening worldwide, not necessarily on the day, but this week and the weeks following. We would look back on the full moon as a trigger point in certain world leaders' charts. That's my feeling. You can drop the F-bomb if you like. Yeah, but then YouTube will shut me down or give me a block or something. So it's just not worth it. Sunday supper, you're making pot roast jam. Can we come over? We'd love to have some. Annabelle, you can't imagine Penny swearing. Oh, believe me, I can, and I do. And when I used to work as a trainee money broker in the foreign exchange department of a London city firm of money brokers, I learnt more swear words there than I knew existed. And do you know what? I didn't blush. I just took them all on board and used them along with the rest of the guys. I had an amazing time, learned absolutely nothing about foreign exchange, money or anything. I think they just had me around as kind of, I don't know. Well, I was very good at the business lunches because I could hold a drink. So they used to take me out on the business lunches. So fits in with your sailor mouth, Andy. Love it. So, we can all come round. Thanks, Jan. We'd love to. We'll all be round for pot roast. See you soon. So let me move on. Moving swiftly on. Monday sees the sun sextiling Lilith, and the moon is in Aries. So the moon will have at last moved out of Pisces and moved its energy into more cardinal, direct, fiery, active, proactive energy. And the sun sextiling Lilith just means that I think tomorrow we'll actually be feeling quite positive, quite energized. I'm just seeing hang on a minute, what chart I've got up here. Oh, this is for the 10th. Okay, so what's it doing? Yeah, okay. So, tomorrow, Monday, not a bad day. I think it's quite a good start to the week. There's no difficult energy, just quite, I think, actually, that sun sextile Lilith, a little bit actually, I'll just kind of whisper it, bit raunchy, I'd say. So if you and your nearest and dearest are, need to cuddle up, good time to cuddle up. Hey, Jem, you're here. Thank God to see you here. Annabelle, good to express feelings and frustration. It's much healthier than holding it in. It can be quite amusing, yes, it can be. Not holding it in, though. One has to actually, my friend Sarah, and we've started this new channel. Well, the last few days, we have just keep finding everything that we're doing hilarious. And we have been laughing and laughing and laughing. It has just been hysterical. And remember, if you are interested in our Channeling with Penny and Sarah channel, please hop over there and subscribe and watch our latest video that we uploaded just last night. And again, it's quite a thought-provoking video. And so let's move on to Tuesday, because on Tuesday, the sun in Sagittarius trines Chiron, of course, who is our centaur, our wounded healer, in Aries. Now, Chiron is still retrograde. Chiron has been retrograde for a long time. Yes, Steve, laughter is the best medicine for allowing us to channel. Absolutely. Laughter is so important. Everyone's so miserable, aren't they? You go around and everyone looks so fed up. They were looking at me and Sarah the last couple of days thinking we were bonkers. Well, we probably are, but we were having a bloody good time. Oh, no, there I did it again. Out came one of those naughty words. Sorry, YouTube. You've had to circumvent Canada Post by making purchases on Amazon. Oh my God, why is that? What's happening in Canada, Andy? So anyway, tomorrow we have this energy of Jupiter sextiling Aries, the Chiron in Aries, and Chiron trining the sun. So tomorrow, I'm getting all my days muddled up, aren't I? This is Tuesday. Tuesday is a really good day for communication that involves healing past wounds. Great day for a good conversation. And it will be very beneficial, very fortunate. And you can feel as if you've really moved on a few kind of notches and really made headway and progress with, certain relationships and things. Oh, thank you, Jam. I will pass that on to Sarah. She does have a soothing voice, and she is, of course, a hypnotherapist, and she specializes in, lots of things, but past life regression. And so, her website is on our Channeling with Penny and Sarah channel if you want to get in touch with her and book a session, because you can do it online. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can have a session with her. You can even book a session with me for astrology to get your chart read for next year and see what the transits are up to. pennydix.com. Send me an email. You know me, I'm a control freak. I want to be in charge of who comes and when they come. And so that's how I'm running my booking system at the moment. You come through me. But then I think that's nice because it kind of makes it a little bit more personal, because I hate these things where you just go onto a calendar and you book and then you wait and you wait and you wait and you're waiting to hear back from someone and you don't, So thank you, Jam. And Also, let's just look at this Chiron again, because Chiron, remember, is known as the wounded healer, but it's more than that, because Chiron was the centaur who had a wound that never healed. And, you know, we all carry a trauma from the past that sometimes never heals in a lifetime, which is so sad. But, you know, on Tuesday, you're actually getting opportunities with this wonderful, trine, helpful energy to have healing conversations that can really help move you forward in significant relationships, because Jupiter is on the ascendant of this chart and the Sun is on the descendant. So it's really super energy. And Mercury, that is still retrograde, is actually trining retrograde Mars in Leo. And, you know, we have to really pay attention now to Mars in Leo, because retrograde Mars is going to be retrograde until I think I can't remember when it goes direct, but it doesn't come out of its shadow till about April or May 2025. And remember that Mars retrograde is a big deal. In fact, I can tell you a personal manifestation of what it is going to mean for me, which I found out yesterday. Or potentially, it may not, but it looks like this is the way that it's going to have to go. So I went to see the shoulder man yesterday in a clinic here on Gozo, because I have a very bad shoulder. I've got a severed tendon, 2 torn tendons, and a torn bicep. Don't ask me how it happened, but a lift door was involved and other things. And sounds a bit, okay. Anyway, so moving on. And basically what the shoulder man said, but he has given me a wonderful cortisone injection, which has helped a bit as long as I don't move it around too much. But he said the damage is so bad that the only kind of long-term solution is to have a shoulder replacement. And this, I thought, as he was saying this, I thought, aha, there's my retrograde Mars in my 12th house, hospitalization, opposite my natal Chiron in Aquarius, the wounded healer, conjunct transiting Pluto in my 6th house. I just thought, well, it's classic. But you know what Mars is doing is it's giving me the opportunity to sort the rest of my body out. It's like I've had my back done, I've had various other things tweaked and fiddled with and all the rest of it. And now Mars retrograde is saying, let's get the rest of you sorted out. Get it done. Do you know what? The shoulder man, he said, it takes an hour, the surgery. You are in the morning of the surgery and you go home the next day. I thought, well, that's okay. Arm in a sling for 5 weeks, physio, and then probably full recovery takes about 3 months. But I thought that's doable. I think I like that. What's that? Try plasma treatment. Yes, Pam Gregory, you're right. I will explore that. I most certainly will. Thank you for reminding me, Karma Girl. Pam Gregory did, yes, and it saved her a knee replacement. You're absolutely right. I will try and Google it and see if I can find out more about plasma treatment. And your friend Maggie is having her knee replaced. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what they do now, isn't it? But I tell you what, if it makes my arm move and I can move it without pain, it will be amazing. Now, moving on, Wednesday is nothing spectacular. It's a nice day. There's no bad aspects. There's no problems as such. It's just a kind of moving through the day, doing what you need to do, getting things done, getting your life in order, getting yourself ready for Christmas, all those kind of, hi, Parry, you're here. Good day to you. And you're wishing for peacefulness and joy throughout the world. Aren't we all, Parry? Aren't we all? It just is, you know, in America, it is $750 a shot. They take out her blood and shoot it back in. She's a trooper, like you are. What, the plasma treatment? Maybe you could private message me and tell me about that, Maggie. I'd be really interested. So yeah, hi Parry. Okay, let's move on to Thursday, because on Thursday, Venus, our planet of love, relationship, self-worth, self-confidence, and also remember, because it's how we value ourselves, it's also about our finances and our economy. Venus in Aquarius is in opposition to retrograde Mars in Leo. Sorry, Mars retrograde. Yes, retrograde. Mars isn't retrograde in Aquarius. I've written that down, and I'm retrograde in Leo. So this is an important. Let me start that again. Right, Venus in Aquarius is opposite retrograde Mars in Leo, and this is actually quite important, because you've got to think of it as Venus is feminine. It's the divine feminine. It's in Aquarius. It's opposite retrograde Mars, which is the masculine and the divine masculine. It's about cutting. It's about cutting through CRAP. It's about really kind of being proactive. So it's a very opposite energy to Venus, which is smooth and soft and flowing. And then you've got Mars, which is action oriented. Now, interestingly, in the event chart, they're in the 12th and 6th house. Oh, Liz, Iron Maiden, bless you. You've made a donation for treats for the cats. Oh, thank you. And thank you from them. They will really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the donations when they come in. It's a really sweet thought to do. Bless you. So this Venus Mars, I think on Thursday, you just need to be a little bit mindful of what you're doing, because there could be some angst between the masculine and the feminine, so that the energies between, say, you and a significant other might be a little bit off track. So it may require some kind of careful handling, or a little bit of space, or a little bit of time to deal with subjects that might come up. Thank you, Liz. I really do appreciate your donation. I love your name, the Iron Maiden. I think it's wonderful. Very Boudicca, the Saxon or Celtish Queen of the Brits. What's that Annabelle Sapphire has said? Penny, they do plasma treatment in Istanbul. Oh, it's only an hour away for me. If that's easy for you to get to, your friend had it. It's very safe as well, stimulating your own healing cells. Well, I will have to investigate it. Thank you very much, Annabelle. What's that, Gem? Can it be inside of us as well? Of course it can. It can be those warring parts of ourselves. So, we all have an inner masculine and an inner feminine. Doesn't matter what sex we are, what gender we are, we still have these masculine and feminine energies within us. So sometimes we are at war with ourselves about something that needs to be resolved. And I tell you what, by the full moon next Sunday, the 15th, when of course I'll be doing my next live stream, that full moon will help resolve any unresolved situations, whether it is within you or with a significant other. And listen to my full moon video when it's up. It should be up in a couple of days. I forwarded everything to the lovely Jerry, so hopefully he'll do his technical stuff and have it all up for you very soon. And okay, Jem, good. And I think we're talking soon. I can't remember, but I've got it all written down. And yes, thank you, Penny. Penny, I'm Penny, you're Parry. We need to realize that we are all equal and sacred entities. Exactly. Oh, see me, I love that. Oh gosh, you need to tell the negative side of you to shut up. Listen, we all need to do that. And we all have a kind of little worry pot in our heads that kind of tells us all sorts of porcupines and gets us going, but what if? And what if this happens? And what if that happens? And what's going to happen? What you have to do is stop living in the future. There is only now. We have to stay in the now. We have to be here now because that is all we've got. And we can change the future by what we think in the present. The future is not set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. We have an infinite amount of choices of timelines that we can choose to travel along from our present point of power, as Eckhart Tolle called it in his Power of Now book. We have infinite choice of how we manage not only the day ahead, we can choose to have a good day or a bad day. Things can happen that can knock us off balance, but we still have the choice as to how we respond to it. So it's how we respond. And that is where this Venus-Mars opposition, sometimes we get reactionary behavior from Mars, because that's the side of us that reacts without thinking things through, without taking a step back and just thinking, hey, Shirley, you've joined us. Ah, Tiffany, hi. You struggle with living in the future. Yes, the power is indeed in the now. And, listen, I have to remind myself all the time. My friend who's arrived today was reminding me earlier. He was saying, look, stop worrying. The week's going to be fine. We're going to have a great time. And of course, I know that. But I was going, oh, yes, but what if? And is this going to be all right? And will that be okay? And is your room okay? And is everything okay? And da-da-da-da-da-da. And being a right little worry pot. And anyway, I had a good talk to myself and I've stopped it. And I'm just going to stay in the present. Yes, Maggie, you're absolutely right. The past is an even bigger trap. Don't live in the past. It's gone. It's finished. It's over. Don't live in the future. It hasn't come yet. It can be whatever you choose for it to be. So what's this para you're saying? Remember to consider the golden rule when we are actively involved in a choice of how to behave. Very wise words from you. Thank you, Parry. I like that. So this is, as I was saying, this is Thursday, which is again, quite a tricky day, but only if you let it be tricky. It doesn't have to be. If you find these feelings rising up in you, stop, question them, think before you speak, think before you act, and just think, well, is there a kinder way to say what may be in your mind to say to whomever that might be? So it is all about our attitude. And if we always have a good, positive attitude, which I know is not always easy, but by staying in the present, it makes it so much easier to actually have the ability to choose how our future can unfold for us in a positive way. Now, then, of course, this week we've got a Friday the 13th. But you know what? I don't buy into all of that. I just think, I always remember my dad used to say he loved Friday the 13th because he thought 13 for him was a lucky number. And so he absolutely reveled in Friday the 13th. And I have no idea what he got up to, but it was probably involved the golf club and copious amounts of alcohol with his mates. But there we go. So what's this, Annabelle? My friend Peter always says the past is a land we can no longer travel to. It helps me when getting in a tiz with the past. It's true, we can't go back. What's done is done. It's done. It's over. It's finished. Andy, you're traveling to the coast on Friday, so praying it's an awesome day. Choose for it to be an awesome day, Andy. It doesn't have to be anything but an awesome day. Choose it. And be mindful. So what we've got on Friday is retrograde Mercury, which is the planet, as you know, of communication, is sextiling Venus in Aquarius. Well, Venus is about the inner feminine again, how we value ourselves, the feminine in reality, the divine feminine, female friends. And this Mercury retrograde sextiling Venus is like saying, this is lovely energy. This is, you can have really good discussions with friends who are female. And whether you're male, female, transgender, whatever your choice is, the feminine will be very receptive, because remember, the female receives, the masculine gives, and the female receives. And so this is the energy that is around on Friday the 13th. So it's a good day again for positive communication. And it's okay. Then Saturday, the moon on the 14th will be in Gemini already, waxing to full. And so there's no significant energies that need to be reported about for Saturday, except that the moon is in Gemini preparing itself to go full. So we will be feeling that usual kind of anticipation, tension that we can get with a full moon. And this is because a full moon is actually shedding more of its light on the earth, which gives us a kind of gravitational pull. And we are made up of whatever it is, 90% water. The moon affects the tides of the earth. And so the moon affects us, which is why the feminine has a 28-day menstrual cycle, because the moon takes 28 days to go from new to full. So there is all this correlation, this kind of symmetry between just the moon and the planet, and the feminine and the masculine on the planet. What are you saying here, Parry? Your very best friend in your whole life is your husband. You're better as individuals because of your love and care that exists. You are very lucky, Parry. I think that is beautiful to hear. And I think, when one has that kind of relationship and really good, I don't know what the word is, but kind of just, you're so fortunate to have a loving relationship that endures, because that is something that is quite rare in life. And it's lovely and inspiring that you both have that. And as Annabelle says, blessings to you both. And your Venus is at 13 degrees of Pisces in the 5th house, Tiffany. Okay, just let me have a look. So your Venus is conjunct transiting Saturn this week. So Saturn is going to make you feel a little bit more serious about yourself, and maybe be a little bit introspective about how you feel about yourself. You may be looking within quite deeply with this kind of energy of Saturn conjunct your natal Venus. And Jem, you're talking about the menstrual cycle is what led you to astrology. Interesting. It continues on, so it's important to know that you feel it is interesting. You see, when we get into those kind of rhythms of the planet and the cosmos, it really makes an amazing kind of, I think, significant difference for us all. So what we're going to be feeling, I think, towards the end of the week is that we've had really, if we've allowed it to be, a pretty good week. I think this is a good week. If we choose for it to be, it's all, remember, the cosmos and the energies are malleable. We can mold them. We can make the energies work in our favor. That's why the awareness of the astrological energies are so important, because it's only by understanding them and looking at the kind of cosmological map that they lay out before us, like a road map that we used to have before GPS, that we get a sense of which direction do we want to go in. Are we going to go down this timeline or that timeline? And with whom am I going to go down this timeline with? So let me just have a look at your chat before I come on to the word for the day, and I will complete with a tarot card for the week. So we have a word for the week and a tarot card for the week. So, oh, I love that, Maggie. You miss yours. It was always a magical time being on your moon. Yes, I do know what you mean. It kind of reminds us of the feminine energies and cycles. Oh, Andy, you're off. Okay, my love. Love you too. You've got to run. It's snowing in Canada. Wow. So you need a bit of extra time to drive to the game. Have an amazing week. Yes, you too. Hi, Daniela. It's good to see you here. Welcome. Come and join the party. So I'm now going to give you my word for the week. And it just came to me in a flash. And the word for the week is impossible. And I just thought this is quite a cool word because, you know, we often say, oh, just it's not possible. No, that's impossible. I can't possibly do that, or that can't possibly happen because it's impossible. Do you know what? Nothing is impossible. If you think back through your life, there have been a lot of things that you have probably considered to be impossible that became possible. And oh God, Barry, I've just read what you've written. I howl at the moon, and I certainly appreciate the cycles that are happening because of the power of our moon. I love it. Oh my God. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I love it. So my word impossible for the week ahead is not that this week is an impossible week. It's that, to give you some of the quotes that I found, the impossible is often the untried. And that quote is by Jim Goodwin, suggesting that impossibility is a matter of perspective or effort. So it takes, yes, exactly, Poonam. Nothing is impossible has been your mantra for a decade now, and it has helped you reach your goals faster. It's true. It's like when I set up this YouTube channel, I just said, I can do it, and I'm going to do it. And I did it, and I'm doing it, and I'll go on doing it until I can't do it anymore, whenever that might be. And Muhammad Ali said, impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given rather than to explore the power they have to change it. That is really interesting, isn't it, from Muhammad Ali? A declaration that the concept of impossibility is a limitation of belief and not reality. Interesting. I like that. Now, Alexander the Great said, there is nothing impossible to him who will try. And so that's a very ancient perspective on perseverance of overcoming limits. And Pablo Picasso, the wonderful modern artist, said, I am always doing that which I cannot do, in order that I may learn how to do it. I like that because that's kind of a celebration of challenging the impossible to achieve personal growth. So you just saw a gun commercial on the telly? Good God, what is happening in America? That's terrible. Oh, don't like that. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. And that is so true. Achievements change perceptions of feasibility. And Albert Einstein said, only those who attempt the absurd can achieve the impossible. Because connecting the seemingly absurd with breakthroughs and innovation, that's very Uranus, that. Because Uranus is the planet really that attempts the absurd to achieve the impossible. And there's a French proverb that says, to believe a thing impossible is to make it so. Self-fulfilling prophecy. And then Charles W. Chestnut, who I have no idea who he is, said, impossibilities are merely things that we have not yet learned. So that's quite interesting energy. So listen, let me have a look at your chat, and then I will give you, because Annabelle requested it and your wish is my command, a card for the week, a tarot card for the week. So I will get, yes, Chestnut, it's a lovely name, isn't it? So what are you all saying here? So you just saw, yeah, the gum commercial on the telly. Gosh. And Annabelle Sapphire, drum roll for the tarot. So am I going to get a good one or a bad one? But you know what? It doesn't actually matter what the card is, because it's how we choose to interpret it. And first of all, I'm going to show you what it is. And you have a think about how you are interpreting it for you. And then I will give you my take. And so it's going to be, okay, it's going to be this one. And it's this one. Okay, which is the Five of Wands, which on the surface looks like conflict and struggle. So is this within the self? Is this with significant others? Is this what we're going to be seeing in the news this week? How does this personally apply to you? Because maybe you need to think about this card over the next week and think, am I fighting myself? Am I fighting something that I know to be true, but I just don't want to actually admit to myself? You know, that's quite hard. Complete honesty with the authentic self is not easy to achieve. I'm just having a look at what you're saying. Finding inner peace, okay, see me. It's for all of us, sending you blessings. You've been having a hard time as well. You're not alone. Jem, where you've, okay, you've been having a hard time, Jem. You know I'm always here for you, my love. You can always message me. I've told you, we can have a 5-minute chat. Doesn't cost you anything. I can do that. You stepped away and missed the tarot card. It's this one, the Five of Wands. And it's basically, are you fighting yourself? Are you fighting with a truth within that you don't actually want to acknowledge as your own truth, that this is actually what or how something should be? So, you know, it is an interesting card because wands, of course, are about working and creating something, being creative and making you know, your kind of how you make your money, how you earn your money, making that work for you. Are those of you that are working going to find some challenges this week at work? On the world stage, are we going to see a little bit of conflict? Because I think if we take this to a world stage level, then yes, I think there's going to be, because it's almost, that card's a little bit of a stalemate, isn't it? It's like we're locked in battle and we can't quite break through to get to the other side. And I suspect with what has unfolded in the Middle East over the last 24 hours is going to be partly contributing to that. So what else are you saying? I'm losing. That's all right. You're very welcome, Jem. Absolutely fine. I think you're having a little private chat and I've lost the thread of that. So you disagree with your husband and son with their vote. Well, you know, voting is a very personal thing, isn't it? It's and it has to be, we have to be allowed free will. I mean, I think one of the things that is so important to stand up for and fight for on this planet in general and in our lives is the free will of choice. And there is a lot of energy on the planet at the moment, within countries, governments, and maybe even on personal levels, where we're being restricted and kind of put down, not allowed to express ourselves. And I'm not going to take us down the rabbit hole of, the woke society, because we'll be here all night. But that, I think, has contributed to a lot of, maybe there are good positive things that have come through it and been experienced by some, but I feel has actually eroded freedom of speech. And I think that is a terrible shame. And I think that for the planet to move forward, and if you think of the energy of Pluto in Aquarius, once Pluto really gets going next year in the sign of Aquarius, I think we're just going to see such huge, significant changes on the planet, in our personal lives. I'm just reading what you've written, Steve. Ones are to create magic. Yes, we have to remember to keep our power and not give our power away. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Steve. Absolutely. Because Pluto in Aquarius is about personal empowerment. We have to make sure we do not project our power into our leaders, our governments, other people, someone else knows better than us. No, know thyself was written on the oracle at Delphi. We have to know ourselves well. If we know ourselves well and keep our power and don't give it to others, we can make our own valid judgments and decisions about our own lives and the directions we wish to take. So you're talking about a book here, Parry, The Serviceberry, written by Robin Wall Kimner. It is a positive attitude for the betterment of our civilization to change constructionally. That sounds very interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Parry. Yes, Steve, never truer words spoken. It's true about giving our power away, and that is just a big thing that we do. But listen, I'm going to start bringing this to a close because I want to keep it within the hour. I have a guest here whom I have to entertain, and we're going to order some takeaway food, and the lovely Sarah is going to come round and join us. And so if you're watching, Sarah, I'm about to finish. Just a heads up. And in the meantime, I just want to give you a heads up that my 2025 videos will be available very soon on my channel. There'll be the overview for 2025 plus each zodiac sign, and that will be time-stamped and linked by the wonderful, inimitable Jerry together, so that you can easily watch the overview and jump straight ahead to your sun sign or your rising sign, also known as the ascendant. And a lot of people like to also listen to their moon sign if they know where their moon is. So thank you, Annabelle. I will enjoy my evening. Thank you very much, because I am choosing to do so. Thank you, Jan. Big hugs back to you as well. Yes, everybody, have a great week. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, if you do want to book a reading for next year, go to my website, pennydix.com, and send me an email. And then we can sort something out to fit in with both our time zones. Not a problem. So listen, guys, I love you loads. You are an awesome, awesome lot. You really are. And thank you for your valuable chat. You are so welcome. Hey, Andy, you're still there. And it's great to see you. You're the passenger in the car now, so you was able to hop back on for the end. Well, you can also catch it and catch up. So I love you all loads, and I love you, Jem. Of course I do. And I love you, Maggie, and I love you, Andy, and I love you, Janice, and Parry, and Steve. I love you all, and anyone else I've missed out, Annabelle, and everybody. So, on that note, I'll stop wittering away and we'll bring this to a close. Thank you for joining me, and let's just spread the love and have a great week. Bye for now. Bye, guys.